Anyone have any comments about that charter and the way it's phrased? The phrasing is very, very good, very deliberate. Yeah, generally they do know who the other leaders are, but not necessarily. There's not a leadership uniform and there's not a leadership tag. So the leaders, the other kids don't necessarily know who the leaders are. No, there are no rewards at all in a tangible form, and yet kids are champing at the bit to be leaders, and that's got everything to do with the inherent, intrinsic reward of being a leader. They find it very satisfying. Their sense of ownership of the space goes up enormously. That sense of responsibility. And everyone's a winner because that's teaching them skills as well. Yes, a rule like everything we do, say, or build will make Borelli better. I mean, that covers everything. I don't need to tell kids not to swear. I don't need to tell them that because we've got a rule that everything we do, say, or build will make Borelli a better place to be. The kids know what that means, and the rules are so strong and so overstated that we're practically creating a utopia. That's the feeling in this space. It's an idealized world. It's not a world that could exist in real life, but in these virtual worlds we're able to operate at a much higher, stricter level of behaviour than we could do in real life, and we're tapping into that. At the moment, just secondary, Nico, because Linden Lab won't allow anyone less than 13. But we're just right this second launching a new island with OpenSim, and that's going to be for everyone in the whole school, K to 12. So it's going to be really interesting. Another couple of comments about the charter, about the agreement there. Notice that the kids are anonymous. Our real names we may choose to give out, or we may choose to keep tucked away. Our teachers know who we are. So it was always really important to me right from the start that we protect the students' anonymity, because that's one of the greatest potentials of these virtual worlds, and in fact of a lot of the interactions we have over the internet, is the anonymity. The kids, especially socially awkward Year 8, Year 9, Year 10 students, who are ever so anxious about where they fit socially, worried about that. It's such an obsession, and you've got that egocentrism that happens, and that feeling that the whole world is watching them. It's such a relief to them to go into a world where they're not actually, nobody actually knows who they are. It lets them play with identity. It gives them a safe space. It's a space that is somewhere between reality and fantasy. Now, you could see some negatives in that, but I really think in this structured environment, there's only positives. It's a scaffold. Good teaching involves scaffolding, and this is a scaffold. And I can give you really specific anecdotes now, stories of students who've been in the world for a year. I'll give you one particular person I have in mind. This girl is now in Year 9, was in Year 8. She's quite shy, and she's not terribly forthright or doesn't really express herself terribly well when she speaks. She stumbles a little bit. Her choice of words isn't always great, and she tends to rush as she speaks. But she is the hero of our island. She created our virtual art gallery, and she puts on exhibitions every couple of weeks by taking a camera around the school, taking photographs of real artworks that our students have done, then uploading them into the island, into literally a 3D art gallery. She's programmed it so that people can come in and vote for their favourite painting, and she's probably one of the most knowledgeable kids in the island. All of the other kids come to her to discover how to do things, and she's a very talented designer. So she's learning in this safe space. She's learning a whole bunch of things about herself, learning to value a lot of skills she's got, and learning that the skills that she has translate into social currency, if you see what I mean. That what she has is going to be celebrated by her peers. That's something great for her to learn in year 8 or year 9. That's going to set her up for confidence for a lot of things later on in life. We don't really debrief